So next I'm going to be walking you through a color wheel with watercolor. And this would be roughly the same with any paint. Because this is watercolor, I'm going to paint directly onto just a piece of paper. If I were using acrylic paint, I could also paint directly onto this paper. It might get a little warpy, just like it might with watercolor, but we can flatten it out. If I'm using oil paint, I need to prime this whole surface first with just a white acrylic paint so that the oil does not sink into the paper. It's really hard to paint on just plain paper with oil paint, and it's not archival. It uses up a lot of your paints. So what I would say is you want to just prepare the surface with some white paint if you're using oil. Okay, so today I have my little watercolors that I love so much. I've had them for years and I just use them occasionally because I mostly paint with acrylic or oil or gouache. Really, I'm all over the place. All right, so I'm just making like a tentative wheel. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my lightest yellow. Just putting out that pea-sized amount that I talked about before. Ooh, we're gonna get a little bit more because I squeezed my tube just a tiny bit too hard there. Easy to do. Okay, so right away, I want you to notice that we have really different kinds of yellow happening going on here. This one definitely is a warmer yellow. Some of us might be like, Anne, I beg to differ. I feel that that's orange. But technically speaking, this is still a yellow. Well, at least according to this. We call this one Indian yellow. Okay. Then I'm going to set out my reds. So notice how I have an orangey red, and then I have a red that tends towards the blue. Oh my goodness. Okay, upon closer inspection, this is actually a quinacridone purple, but it will stand in because purples are made from reds. Okay, reds and blues, like we know. Okay. And they look a little almost, I mean, these are fluid. I love fluid watercolors, but some of them are stiffer than others. Rich blue. So this technically, I'm sorry, it's tiny text. This is an ultramarine deep. So I do recommend that you keep looking at your paints and trying to learn their names, just because it'll help you to remember what actually you've used. Reaching down here for my jar. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have the top of my color wheel up here. Just warming it up with a little bit of water. Loosen that up. And up here, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to bring that yellow around. Excellent. All right, cleaning out my brush. Wiping it out on my rag. Next, I'm going to work into this darker yellow. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm going to let it overlap just a little bit. All right, so one thing about watercolor, it might be tempting. We might say to ourselves, ooh, I really want to make this like nice and thick. But it should never be thick and impasto like our beautiful siblings, acrylic and oil. So watercolor is meant to be loose and washy. Alright, and then just because I can, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag that up into there so that I can see what kind of a range I can get. And I'm realizing realizing I'm gonna need to drag that down a little bit further. Nice. Okay. Hop in with my quinacridone purple. So pretty. Just a lovely color. But yeah, that does have a lot of blue to it. Okay, let's see what happens when we do that. Ooh, see that? We got some traveling. Lovely. Okay. Just get at that just a little bit more. Bringing that up and around. Whoa, gosh, lots of travel. Okay, we might have to separate those just because we're getting a lot of pigment movement with the watercolor. All right, so I'm gonna use my darker blue right now because it's actually my warmer blue, which is a little bit weird to think about because this blue is brighter, but this blue is warmer. All right. Bring that down. We'll let that travel just a little bit. Now we're gonna hop into our lighter blue that caused us so much trouble earlier. And then I'm gonna let that overlap a little bit. Oh, look at that green we just made. Oh, so pretty. All right, so these moments where I've got overlap, right? This is sort of the start of our experimentation with color mixing. You can see you can get some really lovely greens, some lovely oranges, and we have lots of experimentation to do with the purples. Whoa, what's happening over here? Okay, let's just grab some of that and see what we're getting. Lovely. So that's my brighter red with my darker blue. And let's try our lighter blue over here. Just making sure to rinse out some of our lighter red. Ooh, right. That went to like a burnt cherry Coke color. Lovely. Okay. Just gonna dab that because it's trying to get away. Mostly it'd be good to have this on a flat surface, but I have it tilted up on my desk because I want you to be able to see everything. All right. So, lovely cherry Coke color. Let's see, I think we could do a little bit more experimenting with our oranges too. Bringing that down there. Ooh, that's a nice fiery kind of color. Now, what would I do if I wanted to completely neutralize a fiery color like that? Like I wanted to make something kind of woodsy seeming almost. I would go ahead and I would dip in a little bit of this blue. And I would take it in. And whoa, Nelly, we've got something that is very kind of neutral. So you can always get a neutral by mixing complements together. And I actually think that that's really beautiful, right? It's just a lovely kind of brown color. Let's see. Just gonna scoop that because everyone's trying to get away from me. Right there. More of that cherry Coke. Okay. I'm gonna take just a little bit of the yellow and I'm gonna try dabbing it right into the cherry Coke. See how that moves? Don't be fooled, everyone. This is not cherry Coke. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's COVID-19. We've got some really beautiful pigment traveling right there, which is very normal with watercolors. Certain pigments are way more likely to travel than others. It's always interesting to me to see like how colors behave when you introduce other colors into them. But we don't have like a really good like deep purple color. So I'm gonna steal a little bit out of there. And I'm gonna take from this already kind of That's much better. That's lovely. That's like a nice lavender. So when you are making your first color wheel, you can be very experimental, and then you can use some of the colors that you've created for your grid painting. And don't be afraid of having neutrals or like weird colors in your grid painting. That is to be expected. All right, I hope you have so much fun